Friends, this is Sajay Agarwal. Today I'm joined with Siraji and we are at FICCI. So FICCI is hosting an annual event, Virasat. It's about mapping creativity. So we've had a couple of panel discussions speaking about art, culture and heritage, linking tourism with heritage. And there's so many things we have explored today. And we had people from all sections of society. We had women who were talking about. We had Jyotsna Suriji, the past president of FICCI, and we had people from the Taj group. So they were talking about strategically how they're, bringing in culture and heritage together. So now Seerath ma'am has also been in this industry for about decade. I mean, about 5 decades, I would say.
3 decades.
3 decades.
More than 3
That's
decades.
more than 3 decades. And she would give us insight into the art and culture, what ails our Indian society. Ma'am.
Thank you. No, India is a very rich country in terms of art and culture. I mean, there's hardly anybody who can match us. And we have lots of talent in this country. Lots and lots of talent is endless. And a lot needs to be done about the appropriate projection of art and culture here. Lot is being done. One has to congratulate all the people who are making efforts to do it, and which is very good. And today there's like whole lot of people, whole lot of organizations who are trying to adopt art and culture also as a medium, but we still have a long way to go. Though it had already started way back in the 70s, because all the international congresses, conferences that were happening, ITDC Cultural Wing, and with which I was associated for many many years, and I was the main designer and the concept creative person. Now there also we present a lot of art and culture. So tourism and culture were already part of it, though it was done on a much smaller scale. It did not come into so much of limelight. Today everything, even the smallest of thing, is into limelight because of digital platforms. In those days it was only print media or the television, so whatever you knew was through, either you were part of it or you knew through the print media and the
Every
television.
morning you would wake up to a story.
Yes, yes.
Now
But
things
whereas
have
today
changed.
it's like, and it's also that time we were trying to focus on people who are qualified and professionally trained in the field to work on it. Whereas today, what is happening, unfortunately, is every second person is standing up because they fancy something without even being qualified. There are many qualified people, there are many talented people today, but the ocean has become like an ocean today.
Yes, I agree.
And which is kind of somewhere we have the best and yet we do not see the best. Everything chalta hai is becoming.
That
Whereas,
attitude. Yes.
yeah, whereas we need to, whatever major policies that are being formed, and whether it is the government of India or the private sector, lot of effort is being done, but we need to add on more professionalism.
Very true.
Private sectors are still bringing in more of professionals into it, but government sector also needs to bring in more qualified professionals to contribute.
Yeah, I think we'll have to start a school where professionals like you, can, deliver and they can train people who want to be in part of that industry.
Yeah, we need professional approach. Firstly, you need to bring in professionals,
Yes.
even to advise on setting up schools. It's not just कि हम बना रहे हैं.
I agree. Now, just moving over to today's event,
Yes.
Virasit.
Yes.
So, you were there in the morning sessions.
Yes, I was
So,
there.
what is your key takeaway with all the panelists speaking about, tourism?
Well, to great I mean, they were all very enlightened, very experienced panelists. And point is that we've already, since I've been into in the industry for more than 35 years, as a professional designer, artist, I've been a student of culture. I mean, I've used my training in Italy to bring it to work a lot on the preservation and documentation of handicrafts and culture. Now, this talk about tourism and culture being together hand in hand, we were already working in the 70s onwards. So it's very good people are talking about it. and we need to work on it further. There's no end to doing the best. We still need to go a long way. And the UNESCO is partnering, which is great because at least there will be more international coverage, and the Taj Group doing it, which is also again very good because Taj Group has always been pretty sensitive in comparison to a lot of other hotel chains. Though ITDC was the first one, I'm talking in the 60s, 70s.
Yes, I remember.
Which is very nice, and I think it'll give a lot of opportunities and help in preserving our art and culture to some extent.
I remember meeting Mr. Kalra. He was GM at ITDC.
Yes, but
Somewhere in 90s.
that was ITDC. He was the GM hotel, but the cultural wing was
But
separate.
then I met him during one pageant, and he in fact asked me to start a magazine then.
Okay.
So his son is already now he's started a magazine.
Okay.
I think his son is Sumit. So I didn't do it. I was in Pioneer then.
Okay.
So I was covering that pageant. And
Magazine, where was this?
this
Where?
was in Ashoka Hotel.
We've
It was
done that.
Aishwarya Rai and Shushmita Sen.
Okay.
So I was covering that, and then there was the supermodel and all that I've been doing, for
Those
ages now.
fashion pageants.
Fashion pageants.
Okay. No, we did a lot of
We
cultural
wanted
pageants.
to talk about culture, and
We did
if
lot
you
of
want
cultural
to,
pageants.
Just quickly, India, like somebody spoke about Taj in Jaipur and Delhi, right? And recently, like we had some Russians who specially flew in from Russia for watching the Ram Leela in Delhi at Red Fort. So I just want to put you what are the places where ideally, if anybody is coming on a shoestring budget, a foreigner, Indians go, though we can leave them, they can afford or not afford, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They have their own ways to stay. So how do we go about a foreigner, like if somebody is watching this, so where should he visit? A 1 week travel if he's coming to India.
You see, they can go and see sound and light shows. That's one which is permanent.
Yes.
Okay? Sound and light shows is
Purana
one.
Killa.
Purana
Whatever.
Killa, Red Fort, all that is there. Rest for the cultural programs, it keeps happening off and on. So I think it depends on the season. Sometimes during winter season, and like now festive season has started. So a lot of programs keep happening at all the theatres. But at the same time, like we used to do like in way back in 1980s, City Fort was inaugurated with my production, Panorama India. Yes, that I had produced for Asian Games, 1982.
82 Asian
82,
Games, yes.
and it was under the guidelines of Mrs. Gandhi at that time. It represented India in a nutshell. Music, dances, costumes, brides, fashions, saris, architecture, crafts, you name it. We had it all concised in a 1.5 hour show. That was the first. And today, everybody's trying to do these multimedia shows. Ours was amongst the first ones.
It's got a lot of research you must have put into that.
And that was repeated for non-aligned meet. For special
Yes.
request, we presented it. And International Chief Justices Congress and International Olympic Committee. That time we presented it for a number of international.
Hanji, I can realize I've been through her journey, not knowing her. I've been part of all these events, Shri Fort, Shyama Towers, and everything, railways, all the cultural events I was covering.
But I must mention was something which I broke away from this part of it. When the earthquake happened in Latur, like any other person, the whole world was donating and contributing. So, as an artist, what would be my humble contribution? So then I came to realize that art is what could be I can't donate lakhs of rupees, but my art I can. So I went and worked with the tribal women who were affected by the earthquake. In fact, this Banjara group, the Joint Secretary mentioned about the Banjara research,
Yes.
the work they have done. I have already done it 30 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever. When the Latur earthquake happened, I worked for 3 years in the villages. I researched, documented the crafts, and we developed over 1,000 samples, which could be sold in the market and bring livelihood for these tribal women. It wasn't just a studio collection, I would say, like any other designer would say, sits, make sketches, and banado. No, I wanted to build on their skills. And so I went and sat in the 45 degrees temperatures under the open air sky. Worked with them. How we developed is a long story that would need another session, but we built on that, and we created home furnishings, garments, Indian, Western, casual, formal, and we brought it here in a multimedia pageant at City Fort, titled "Colors of Hope,"
Oh, lovely.
and that was funded by UNDP, and it had an exhibition section which had the photographic section, because I had documented the whole thing as the first part, like how the development went over 3 years. Second section was craft in its original form. Third was craft in its new form. Something very different. Then the fourth section was paintings and poetry, on the same theme and color palette as that of my stage sequences, the multimedia show that was happening on the stage. And all the sequences was a true story of revival of hope.
Yes.
And I had almost 100 artists on stage. I set the trend of bringing in celebrities as showstoppers, as Shobna Narayan, Raja Reddy, Sharon Lohan, Mr. Vardarajan, Secretary Culture, Uma Vasudev. They modeled because the garments crafted by these tribal women. Now today, you have every designer bringing in celebrities. I set the trend. I set the trend. It was for a cause.
Yeah, we were day before at the IAF, so Shobna Narayanji was there. And our ex-tourism minister KG, he was also there. And what you said about poetry and art, so a lot of, I was talking to people, artists, so they've put the Gayatri Mantra now, on the paintings. So shlokas and everything is coming up. So I think you've set the trend, and we wish that when we move ahead, our Indian culture so diverse, like we have so many languages,
Yes, but at the same time, artists are still facing a lot of hurdles.
Yes.
In spite of having done so much and contributed so much to the cultural world, art and cultural world, it's still a battle to find a place, because you don't bribe, you don't happen to I'm sorry, I'm saying it on
It
camera,
is happening. We need
to
to
or
open up everything.
do all the chamchagiri and send expensive gifts to anybody. So you're sidetracked. It's not the talent which matters.
I
And,
remember.
and also there are the very important aspects. You cannot tender art in any form. Whereas today the things are being tendered. They don't go by your creativity.
I agree with you, and what you said, like last 2-3 years, we've got these, street art happening in the sense that
But
all
it's
the
all
roads.
haphazard.
Yeah, it's all haphazard.
It's all haphazard. There is no stringing like a pearl. There's a story. You move from one into the other.
Yeah.
There has to be a rhythm.
There's
There
no
has to be
direction. There's
continuity.
nobody who's giving that.
No, but they do not want right people.
Yes. That's what you had initially told us. So we are now just summing it up. And thank you, Seerath ma'am. And we wish that this, what we have today talked about, so it transpires among the millions of.
We still need support from the right people in the right manner, in an honest manner. We need support no matter how much you may contribute.
Now we'll sum it up as we've got to move to the next session. So thank you very much. A friend of mine who's he teaches Argentine dance. So he's just helping. We met today.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Come. I'll take your.
Is your hand okay?